Got you charged up now.
Ugh, God damn, bro. It's like, look at that old woman, man. It does not.
That this is an Amazon.
Dude, it looks like Gandalf beating the shit out of Gollum.
What's up, everybody? We're back. It's time for Puttin on Airs. Let's do it. We're here in the virtual Airstream studios this week. I don't know. We're gonna see how it goes. Cho, he's a little under the weather. Under the weather is not the right term. What do you call it? Laid out. You're a little laid out.
Yeah, laid out. You know, I used to hear old people
Down in your back.
down in my back. Yeah,
yes.
where I would hear old people always say, like, "Oh, I'm down in my back," and I'm like, "What the hell do you mean? Like you hurt your back?" And it's like, "No, I'm down in it. I'm just down. I'm all the way down in it." Because I've hurt my back before, but I wouldn't have considered me being down in it. It was just like, oh, my back kind of, I hit it right here, and it's where. But I am 100% officially down in my back, which is why if you're watching this, I look a little different. I'm standing up. It's the only position in which I am comfortable, in which I get any relief. Matter of fact, yesterday, I didn't tell you this, Trae, but after we recorded Well Read, I had to call Amber on the phone and have her come pick me up out of my office chair. I couldn't physically stand up.
Lord, son, that's pretty rough.
It is rough. And then
here's fall, right? You
fell.
You couldn't get up. You need one of them life alert bracelets. What you need, because this is, it's not good, Joe. What if nobody else has been home? What are you going to? You just lay there like an old lady in a buttercream gang, saying, you have to wait till a crew of neighborhood kids came by on their bicycles and heard you squalling in there, and then they come in and help bring it. They got a collie with them, like a lassie dog. She comes to the window.
There's a dumb fuck in the well.
Yeah. Goes barking. What? Fat Corey fell down? What's going on? Yeah, and then they go,
again.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
Well, here's how the injuries go throughout the years. I feel like in your teens and 20s, you fall and then literally nothing happens at all, right? Like nothing. Like you fall and you're like, oh, I bet that'll hurt a little bit, and then it doesn't. You wake up and you're totally fine. In your early 30s, you fall, and the next day there's a pinch, but everything's okay. In your mid to late 30s, you fall, and this is from my experience. At that moment, adrenaline kicks in and you can still get up. It's just you go, man, tomorrow's not going to hit. And then true to the story, tomorrow does not hit. And now for me, it's been going on a week. Now, when you get older, that is when you fall and you can't get up. But I don't know, when we're going to reach that. And I'm sure everybody reaches that at a different age. But I still wouldn't mind. Look, Life Alert, if you want to sponsor the show, I've fallen a lot this year. Having a baby, I've been just like all over the place. And what happened was, if you didn't listen to Well Read, I slipped on one of his toys. And I'm talking literally, if I wish I had a Ring camera, because it was just like how you see a cartoon fall when he slips on a banana peel. Right. And like, it always seems fake, but I swear to God, when I fell, I could hear the whoop, 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 whoop. Like I could hear it, and then bro, last night I'm trying to sleep, and sleeping on my back don't hit. So I sleep on my side, and I'm not a side sleeper. Right now, my neck is fucked up and I can't turn left, and I can't lift my left arm over my head.
Okay. So are you looking at me on your screen?
I'm looking at you on the screen.
Your screen is where it always is, but you're standing up. Yeah. Right.
Yeah, exactly. There's my camera right there.
It's cracking me up. Yes. Cause it's like, you kind of look blind or something, except you're not normally they look, I feel like the blinds, they look off and up. Instead of
like this,
instead of like down and to the side, but you kind of, like if you had a pair of sunglasses on, you would definitely look blind. Because you're looking at me while you're talking, but not the camera. And it also looks like, then you said you can't even turn that way. So I was like, maybe that's why he's not looking at the camera.
Well, it's part of it, because like doing this, that ain't it. So like, I'm kind of leaned over right now. I'm putting all my weight on my left side. Do you know what's fucking crazy? I went to the chiropractor, and which, by the way,
for this
Monday.
had this already happened by
Yes,
then?
this is
Okay.
why I went to the
Okay,
chiropractor.
gotcha,
Right.
okay.
And she told me, she's like, look, I'm not going to lie. I see my dumb ass was like, I'm going to go to the chiropractor. They're going to put me on a table, crack my shit, and then I'm going to walk out and everything's going to be good. And she was like, I hate to tell you, but you might feel worse tomorrow, which was the case. Right. But this is what she told me. And this is crazy as shit. She goes, the reason she checked the mobility like in my hips, in my back or whatever. She said this injury was probably a long time coming because your left hip is locked completely up. Like your left hip doesn't really fire like it's supposed to. So for however long that's been the case, your right hip and your right lower back has been pulling double duty. So it was like already strained and then you fell and fucked it up. And I was like, wait, so the left part of my body just hasn't been working and I didn't notice that. And she's like,
Yeah.
I don't know.
Okay. Well, let me ask you. I've actually wanted to talk about this before. I had made a note of the guy who founded chiropractic.
Uh-huh.
What
Chiropractic.
chiropractic. Yeah, right. But anyway, I put him in the doc before and had thought like we might talk about it, but I don't remember off the top of my head. I pulled his Wikipedia up now to try to remind myself of what I wanted. But I thought it might be an interesting subject because, like, did you otherwise go to chiropractors?
I've never been in my life.
Never once until this, and
No, I assumed it was a crock of shit.
fucked your back. Okay, well that's why I wanted because like
No offense to chiropractors
you
out there.
get majorly conflicting reports from
Yeah,
people
for sure.
on chiropractors. Like I have always generally been under the assumption that it is bullshit,
Chinese voodoo, whatever.
pseudoscience, fringe medicine, that type of stuff. Like right there with like acupuncture and like the thing where they rub your feet. What's that one?
I don't even know. Massage.
No, oh man, there's a word for it. There's like a foot thing.
Hold on. Can I say something real quick before we do what we always do, which is reckless speculation? This is no offense to all our chiropractic people who are in chiropractic that are listening to this. We are both very, very stupid. And we're also both from the South. And it is in our blood to not trust any type of thing that is medicine or whatever the fuck.
It's called reflexology.
I've never even known about that.
Or zone therapy. I think I had a girlfriend once who was into this shit or something, but it's like it's certain zones of your feet are tied to issues you
Chakras.
have whatever, and they rub certain zones and it does it. Of course, and it's
I kind of believe in that.
Okay, why?
I'll explain it to you. Not that specifically, because like what you just said, I don't know all the nuance to it, but like the fact that we have certain things in our body and certain nerves and certain muscles that connect to other ones is because when I rub this part of my hand right here, when I do that, I can feel it in my throat. It tickles my throat.
I mean, I think pressure. Now I want to look that up. Like pressure points are a real thing.
But do you think I'm crazy? Because I've told people this before and they're like, how the fuck is that possible? But like literally doing this to my hand, it tickles my throat and it almost feels like I'm rubbing my finger on my throat. So like there's clearly a nerve in my hand that's connected to my throat nerve or something. So like, I'm not.
I mean, it says that pressure points are a real thing. Like I remember hearing that. I don't know if you can
knock somebody out.
No, if you squeeze real hard in the like webbing between your index finger and your thumb, that's supposed to help with like
migraines,
headaches and migraines and stuff. And like I have had headaches before and not been anywhere where I had pills available to me. I want to circle back to pills in a minute. And I've done that and I feel like it seems like it helps, but it also that hurts. So it's kind of like your brain's just like, oh, this hurts now.
Right.
And
well, hey, let me let you in on one that is really important to fat fucks like us. Because there's a certain type of people, only a certain type of people get brain freezes on the regular, right? Like you're a fat ass if you get brain freezes all the time because it means you're eating a slushy or ice cream. Like most people don't get brain freezes just from taking a normal sip of cold water,
Right.
So I get brain freezes all the fucking time because I'm always eating ice cream or popsicles. And I saw this thing on Reddit and I was like, well, this is bullshit. And they were like, as soon as you get the brain freeze, because mine will last forever. You take your thumb and you push it up against the roof of your mouth like this, right?
Okay.
Let me tell you something, son. That motherfucker goes away like immediately. And again, my brain freezes last a long time, but I just do. So now I am just fucking eating popsicles with impunity, son.
Well, I
Or
mean,
with no
that's
impunity?
no with impunity.
With
I believe.
impunity, yeah,
I think
yeah.
so. Yes. That's a good one to know. But so this dude, Chiropractic, was founded by Daniel David Palmer,
Oh, I thought his last name was chiropractor.
who was real into alternative medicine, not just chiropractic, but magnetic healing, for example.
Like, what's that? You just like stick
Use
magnets on you?
magnets to do stuff. Yeah, I
You
don't
put
know.
like the
But
one part of the magnet on one side of the body and then like the north
yeah,
end on the other?
I mean, hell, I don't know, something like that. But
Sounds
anyway,
stupid.
um, and he was opposed to vaccines, just all of them, all vaccines. Like this is an
What year
era of
was
like
this?
polio vaccine
Right.
era, and he was like, "No, that ain't it.
Dude, being against
Smallpox vaccines, that ain't it."
it's really funny. Don't you think it's kind of funny, not to get political, but that like it sounds more insane for someone to be like for someone to be anti-vax back then actually seems more insane than them being
For
anti-vax now.
sure.
Because like I feel like I remember, dude, when my mom or when I was a kid, my mom showing me her like scar, you know, the scar that all women of that
Yeah.
age like had, or men too, on their arm where they went and got the polio vaccine. And it was universally talked about as like such a great thing. You
Right.
know what
Well,
I mean?
dude, this
Like
why
our
I mean,
generation was fucking saved by this shit.
we're gonna end up it has become political, and that's why they seem less crazy. I mean, it's still crazy, but it's like because it's a political thing, it's like, oh, they're just on that team or whatever. But back then, like
I'm just saying, you
everybody
think
knew
those people,
everybody who was dying
right?
all the time. Like
Right.
everyone had family members and kids and shit who got polio or smallpox or whatever and died. And when doctors were like, hey, if you take this shot, you ain't gonna die. Your kids ain't gonna die. And back then they were like, that sounds like that hits.
But it
They
goes
did it and it worked. And then what we got complacent. Like
right.
vaccines hit so hard for so long that nobody's left alive who remembers what it was like. So
Like
we're complacent
right.
now. People think like, oh, it's fine. You know what I
Right.
mean? Like, why would I worry about measles? When's the last
Right.
time somebody got measles? It's like,
Not
right.
and not
There's
thinking
a
about the
reason
why.
for that. Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
But I'm saying it goes against the narrative that people were dumber back then. And I mean, I'm sure that there were definitely some like anti-vaxxers that were as public as they could be back then. But again, dude, like some of the same people that I know who are very anti-vax now, like I remember them talking about polio, like we stood in line proudly. We
Right.
couldn't fucking wait, you know?
So this dude, D.D. Palmer, right?
DDP.
He he thought that chiropractic should be like a religion, like on the level of a literal religion. And he like wrote that, he was the Jesus Christ. He was the Muhammad, the prophet of the religion of chiropractic.
Cracking your back.
Of cracking your back. Yeah. Like he thought pretty highly of himself. So anyway, that's the origin of this. And this dude was clearly a bit of a lunatic.
Can you just claim to be that of stuff? Because I would like to. Okay, well, I would like
if
to
you
officially
come up with something.
I would like to officially announce now that I am the Jesus Christ, the Prophet Muhammad of rewatching the documentary Civil War by Ken Burns. I think it should be a religion. Rewatching it should be a religion, and I'm the number one guy. You should all follow me because I guarantee you I do it more than you. So
I don't know, man. There might be a depressed librarian out there somewhere. It's
false prophet.
Okay, well, I'm just saying. It all seems to me, everything I hear about it, it seems like I do not see myself ever fucking with a chiropractor because I'm pretty much of the opinion that that it ain't real. But like Smart Mark, the smartest dude out of us knows, he sings it from the mountaintops. He praises chiropractic. Yeah. He's got his own chiropractor he's been going to for years, and he says he's like, oh, my back. Yeah, I I'd be crippled if not for my chiropractor. Like I wouldn't even know what to do without him. Like it helps my back so tremendously. But I've also known other people personally who were like, yeah, that's the worst mistake I ever made.
Me
like,
too.
That shit fucked me up so much worse than what I was before. And, I'll never go to another one of them again. So it's like, I hear majorly conflicting things.
I do too. I do too, bro. But let me give you this fucking argument. And this is 100% which I don't agree with, but it's still there's no atheist in a foxhole argument. I've been that way too. You just don't know what you'll do when you need relief. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, dude, I'm telling you, if someone had said, hey, there's an Indian shaman that you can go meet on the hill and give him a sack of these magic beans and he will touch your forehead with your thumb and you will be healed. Of course, when my back wasn't hurting, that would sound ridiculous. But in my current state, I'd go fucking drop a pin. Where's he at? You know what I'm saying? So like, I hear you. And because I fully believe it. Like, dude, I used to watch the show 2.5 Men. And like the running joke on there was Alan, which is John Cryer's character. He's a chiropractor. And like everyone he came in contact with was like, oh, so a fake doctor, right? Like
Right.
it was the joke. And again, no offense to people here who are chiropractors, because I'm certain you help people. But again, like you said, it's been majorly conflicting reports. It's just that's how fucking bad, that is how bad my back's hurting, that I was like, well, they can't make it worse. You know what I mean? Like, I just need some fucking relief. And turns out the only relief I can get is standing straight up. And I talked to my doctor about this too. And by the way, all these people, do you still want to be on chiropractors?
I mean, you about to talk about pills?
Yes, I am.
The only thing about chiropractors, did we watch the video before of that young chiropractor bro
with the old lady
killing that old lady?
Pull it up.
I've already got it pulled up, but I kind of feel like we watched.
I don't give a shit.
POA. Okay,
who cares?
Right. I mean, if we did, it was a long time ago.
And it hits, so people will like it.
All right, you see this?
Yeah.
All right, let's turn the volume up here. That way, even if you're only just listening, it should still be funny, I think.
Ow! Has a massive scoliosis that's been cooking up for lots and lots of years. Oh, beautiful. Last time I looked at that x-ray, I remember seeing 18 fractures out of 24 vertebrae in the spine. Just bada bing, bada boom, bada bing. They were all old fractures. Up, up, and down, up and down, up and down. Good. Ow! Yes, man. Oh, yeah. Good movement there, huh?
Yeah.
Dude, she ain't made them noises since she saw a Mike Douglas special, my friend.
All right, Mr. Wayne, relax that head for me.
Oh.
There it is.
We got you charged up now.
Oh, God. Damn, bro. Wow. It's like... Look at that old woman, man. It does not.
My middle of my back too.
That all healing takes time? That this isn't Amazon Prime, right?
Dude, it looks like Gandalf beating the shit out of Gollum. Like at the end, you know.
There's people in the comment, or there's like a doctor in the comments who's pointed at that part where he said, I saw these old fractures in her back, and like there's a doctor in the comments saying like, yeah, that's not a thing. That's complete
that you
bullshit.
could know. Yeah, right.
Yeah, he's like, that ain't real. But anyway, I had pulled that up. So yeah, other than that, no, yeah, we can get off chiropractors. Hey, y'all, you're looking for that perfect Father's Day gift that will leave him misty-eyed? Skip the socks and power tools. Gift him the most unique, unforgettable gift imaginable. An original song from Songfinch. Sometimes you ever listen to a song on the radio and it touches your heart because you're like, man, were they writing that about me? Or like, were they writing that about my relationship with my dad or my son? If you are a dad, I've got songs like that. We've all got songs like that. There's a song called Outfit.
Oh, boy.
By Jason Isbell and the Drive-By Truckers originally. And it gets me every time because it's a father-son song. You know those songs? Well, you have the power to get that same feeling from a custom made song from Songfinch and scratch that itch. Joe, we did this. We did it twice. It hit both times, but the second time we did it for your dad, BPP specifically. So won't you talk about that?
We sure did. And Trae, I'll be honest with you, it has a little different vibe than Outfit by Jason Isbell. But the vibe hits nonetheless. I made them do a roast of my father. Y'all know him as the BPP. And matter of fact, why not talk about it? I'll just let you listen to some of it right now.
Glad strapping, it's gonna be a roast from the son who loves you the most. How much ketchup can you actually swallow? I don't think you're supposed to use the whole bottle. If you spill some, thank God for your wife, cause you've never washed clothes in your entire life. Let's not talk about your man crush on John Wayne, or how you can't ever remember anybody's name. The only thing you ever remember are baseball facts, not even good ones, obscure ones. Who cares about that?
I mean, dude, Trae, you know my dad. They nailed it, don't you think?
And so hard.
They nailed it. And I just, again, I just gave them a couple little notes here. And my man, Wason Key, that's who I use for this one and POA. But you can choose from like thousands of artists, and they're going to work with you until the song is right. They walk you through a simple process to create your original song. So simple that I was able to do it twice, by the way. Just tell them who the song is for, what style you want. We went with hip hop because that's how we roll. We're super cool. Then share some personal details about your relationship. Then actual Songfinch musician of your choice will write, record, and produce the original song in just 4 to 7 days. I got mine at 4 days on the dot. You can do unique add-ons like a vinyl record of your song, one-of-a-kind art made from your lyrics. By the way, you can also add the song to Spotify. They've got 350,000 happy customers. That is insane. That makes them the #1 custom music company in the world. Whatever your song is for Father's Day, or it could be an upcoming graduation, wedding, anniversary, even just a gift to show your loved one how much you care. Or, by the way, just to roast one of your buddies. Why not? You know what I'm saying? You've got the power. Finally, like if you're going on a golf outing and you got some dude that can't, play golf, have my buddy Wason Key make a song talking about how much he don't hit. Start your song now. Lock in one of Songfinch's top artists, and don't waste another dollar on stupid stuff. Get a memory, get a radio quality original song that's totally unique to your relationship. For a limited time, Songfinch is letting our listeners upload their song to Spotify for free, so you and the lucky person you gift it to can listen to it anywhere, anytime. Go to songfinch.com/POA and start your song. After you purchase, you'll be prompted to add Spotify streaming for your original song free, a $50 value. Again, our URL is songfinch.com/POA. Don't forget to share your song with us too. Songfinch.com/POA. And yes, you can stream BPP, Big Papa Producer, now on Spotify. Skew.
Hey, y'all, let me ask you a question. Have you heard that the flavored air category is quickly becoming the leading alternative to vaping and smoking? It's a whole new movement towards better habits led by the sponsor of today's video, Fume. Fume is an award-winning flavored air device. Flavored air is not like vaping. If vapor was compared to sticky soda, Fume cores are closer to herbal tea. Fume has lots of delicious flavors to choose from, like crisp mint and orange vanilla. With flavored air, you can satisfy your oral fixation through a passive diffusion system that utilizes no electronics, vapor, or combustion. Fume draws flavor to your mouth. Fume fills the void ditching a bad habit can leave. You still got something to reach for when you want to. Fume is not a vape. There's no vapor. You can use it anywhere. There's no nicotine. It's not addictive. They have non-toxic flavors. It's a completely guilt-free alternative. No batteries, never have to charge it. Looks very cool. You can feel the weighted, high-quality design. It's actually made for you to fidget with, which, that helps if you got anxiety. They got magnets, snaps, and clicks. It gives you something to fiddle around with. And I'm a big fiddler. I love to fiddle around with stuff, and Fume really nailed that. And Fume continuously invests in third-party studies to ensure the safety of their products, and Fume is backed by doctors all around the U.S. Cho, tell them what you think about it.
Dude, I love it. I'm glad they finally said it because I've been saying it for a long time. It is kind of like puffing on a tea. The orange vanilla is my favorite because it's like I said, it's like puffing on a tea, and then it kind of smells like a candle. It almost, every time I'm using it, I feel like I'm in a warm bath, watching a Nora Ephron movie, and all of my troubles just slowly fade away. But it's important to know that, you know, it's not a vape. There's no vapor, so you can use it anywhere. I take mine to the movies with me, and my wife loves fidgeting with me. It's non-toxic. There ain't no batteries. You ain't ever going to need to charge it. It looks awesome. It looks like a little baseball bat, which really hits for me. And Fume continuously does these studies, like Trae said, to ensure the safeties of their products. I'm a big fan, and I think that you would be a big fan too. Like I said, my personal favorite is the orange vanilla. Perhaps you'll like the crisp mint for whatever reason. Fume has served over 300,000 customers, and you can be the next success story. For a limited time, use our code POA to get a free gift with your journey pack. Head to tryfume.com. That's TRYFUM.com, and use our code POA, or scan the QR code on screen to get a free gift with your order today.
Yeah, I was going to ask if you got you any pills.
Well, I'll use this to go into pills, but basically, you know, she was also talking about how there were so many other things about me that didn't hit, which is, by the way,
right.
That's usually the case. Whenever I go to the doctor, I'm like, hey, I would like to report that this thing don't hit. And then they always come back to me and they're like, oh, you think that's the only thing about you that don't hit? Here's a whole list of things that don't hit. And there's part of me that's like, okay, y'all are just trying to do like what the mechanic does with the rust proofing and shit. But it's like, I don't know. It's all going through my insurance anyways. Maybe they do give a fuck about me, whatever. But she was basically telling me all this stuff. She's like, you know, your shoulders are fucking off by this. She's like, this part. And then she asked me, and she don't know me at all. Like, she don't know who I am. And she goes, do you travel for a living? And I was
no.
Yeah, I do. I said, not so much over the last year because I've been at home raising my son. I said, but yeah, for the past 7 years, I've kind of averaged being on about 148 planes a year. And then in between that, driving and being in rental cars and stuff. And she was just like, that explains so much about you. She goes, because like your back, your body has just been in a constant state of torsion that people like the human body was not designed to do that stuff.
No.
You know what I mean? So anyways, bro, you need to go get your shit checked out. But I'm not saying by a chiropractor, but like she was able to predict, like, this is a guy who has sat in chairs in the sky, based on all of my shit. But so I go to her. My doctor's the one that tells me to go to her, because I talked to the doctor, and like,
your doctor told you to go to a chiropractor?
They were just like, well, those are the people that handle that. And they're like, if that doesn't help you out, then we'll do x-rays or whatever. But basically they were just kind of like, we don't want to waste your time if it's something that can be, you know, handled this way. Right. Yeah. And I'm telling them, and I'm telling her, they're asking me my pain level. And every time I've ever gone into the doctor and they've asked me my pain level, I have always been honest. Like, I've never been someone, and I know this is crazy to think about me, but I've never been someone who was like at a 3 and said I was at an 8 so that I could get fucking pain pills. Matter of fact, if I was at a 3, I wouldn't even be going to the goddamn doctor. You know what I mean? Like, the fact that, like, if you know anything about me, any doctor should know this. Like, if I am here, it means I'm above a fucking 5 or 6, because otherwise I'd just stay the fuck at home. But I'm telling them, even when I went in with my leg, dude, I told them straight up, I was like, listen, here's the deal with my leg. And I was surprised they didn't give me pain pills for my leg, but I still kind of understand, because they were like, what's your pain level? And I said, well, here's the deal. If I'm sitting completely still, not putting any weight on it, 0. I don't even feel it. It feels like normal. I said, when I make a slight movement, it gets up to 4 and 5. I said, now, if I put pressure on it, it's all the way a 10. I said, but I've got a crutch, and therefore I don't have to put pressure on it. So like, because dude, I'm the type of person that is like, I want to say whatever sounds like not a guy trying to get pills, because I don't want to look like that. Now, by the way, I want them to give me pills. Yes, I 100% want them to give me pills, but I don't want to look like a guy who's trying to get pills, especially in this situation when I was like, I could probably go without pills, right? And I need to save my pill speech for when I need some fucking pills. Well, now I need some fucking pills. And I'm sitting there telling them, I'm like, they're like, what's your pain level? And I'm like, okay, it's very weird, because when I'm like walking very slowly and when I'm standing up straight, it's like, it's there, but it's manageable. But when I fucking try to bend any type of way, when I have to make any sudden movement, when I sit down, when I stand up, when I lay down, it is 100% a 10. I have almost cried. I had to fucking yesterday, dude, I had to call my sister to come to my house to change my baby's diaper because I could not get in the position to change his diaper. I tried for an hour. I didn't just immediately call her. I tried for a fucking hour and I couldn't do it. And I broke down in tears. I was in so much pain. And they were just like, yep, better stretch.
Right.
I was like,
oh, I mean, I know. I mean, people have been in this universe for a while. Have heard me bitch about this on Well Read before. I brought it up. Like, this is a long running thing with me. You hear, I mean, again, I've said all this before, but maybe not on this show, but like you hear people all the time talk about these doctors that just give them whatever, like not just celebrities and shit, but it's like, you know, our buddy Joe Zimmerman, the comedian, he had that bit forever ago. He's like, I went to the doctor and told him that I thought, you know, I might have,
I needed Adderall.
I might have ADHD. And he goes, well, let me ask you this. Do you have health insurance? And I said, yeah. And he goes, yeah, you got it.
You got it.
And it's like, and everybody laughs because it's like,
it's true.
It's like an experience people have. I have never in my life, I've been to so many different doctors. I have never been to a doctor like that. Hell, my sister had a doctor like that for years.
She seems like she'd be trying to get pills.
Right. Yes.
No offense to Paige, and I know she's not, but she's got resting. I want some fucking pills face.
And she's gonna be mad if she listens to this because she's
gonna
be
care.
like, I needed every one of them pills, you know, or whatever. And I'm not saying you didn't, Paige. I'm just saying, like, I know all you had to do was just say to Dr. Dr. B, let's call him.
Yeah.
Hey, I got this going on. And he's like, well, here you go. But I have never, and I'm just like you. I think all the same things. I'm always like, I don't ever come in this motherfucker ever.
Right.
Like, I'm not a hypochondriac. I'm not in here every other month. I'm not in here asking for stuff. So there's no reason to think that I'm like, I went to this guy once. I could not get through a sentence without coughing I was like so sick, so visibly sick. Anyone could tell. Like, they sent me home from work. I don't even know why I went there, but they like made me leave and go to the doctor because I was so clearly sick, couldn't talk without coughing, could barely breathe. And I was like, I just can't sleep. I can't do anything because I can't quit cough, whatever. And I tried to get some cough syrup from him, right?
Some that hit.
And the only cough, when you're real sick and you've got a real bad cough, the only thing that actually affects that at all is the codeine cough syrup. That's it. That's all that works. They've got all this other shit. They got these little pearls that they give you and all the stuff you can buy at the store, whatever. None of that does a goddamn thing. It don't do shit.
But the lean
he would not do it. His whole thing was, he was like, I'm kind of a minimalist when it comes to prescribing medication.
God damn it.
And I said it right. And actually, I didn't.
I've heard that shit too.
But in my head, I was like, so what would you say you do here then? Because like, I'm a minimalist at coughing my fucking ass off all the time. Like, you're a doctor. So what do? People come in and you're just like, yeah, no, you don't hit.
Yeah.
Go back home, keep not hitting. You'll wake up and you'll hit again. But there's nothing. What could I do?
Like, it's a car engine light. You know what I mean? Well, dude, like,
my doctors out here, like you were saying about the pain thing. I went to, when I started having problems with anxiety, right? Over a year ago or whatever, when it was real bad.
You was having trouble before then. You was just in denial. Let's just get that straight.
No, that's not true. I know, because when I started having this, I was like, oh, this is unlike anything I've ever experienced in my life.
I was just trying to make fun of you, which is what friends do when talking about their problems.
Look, dude, me and depression.
It's depression.
Way back.
Yeah, that's actually true.
Me and depression's like this.
That's actually true, because I remember so many times when you, and this is not you being an asshole at all, but like me and you share depression, so like we can communicate about that. But you never really understood my anxiety.
No,
you know what I mean?
I never got it. I used to think.
And then one day you did, and it was like, and I wasn't happy that you did. Like, I wasn't happy that you got anxiety, but there was a part of me that was like, well, at least now, I wasn't fucking bullshitting.
But I used to think, I was like, so what? You worry a lot? You're like a worry wart? That's what you mean? Like, I didn't know. Now that I've actually had anxiety, I know what it actually feels like. It's like,
it's the worst.
Physically debilitating.
Depression actually hits harder.
Man, it does. Oh, dude, I take depression over anxiety any day of the week.
Because depression, you get to sleep.
or understand that. But now that I've experienced both, depression is so much better than anxiety. But like,
when I have a depression day, oftentimes my anxiety is gone because my depression is in full force, and I actually look forward to it.
I didn't know that. I didn't know that until I started having problems with anxiety, but I found out from my doctor, because the way it worked for me was when anxiety showed up, it's like it kicked depression out the door. It was like, I run shit here, motherfucker.
Yep.
But then like, and when my anxiety would be better, my depression would come back. And he said that's actually very common. People that like they're not normally there at the same time, which thank God for that.
Well, anyway, here's my theory on that is that my anxiety, and then you can go on, and I'm so very sorry, but like, here's my theory on why anxiety kicks in the depression is because when anxiety is going on, you're like paralyzed, right? Like you're almost paralyzed. You can't get anything done except for, by the way, me and you have a full docket of shit that we have to get done. Like, but when we're anxious, we can't get none of it done, and everything piles up and everything piles up, and anxiety takes you to this, like, such a high, but it's a bad high. It's a super bad high. But so after that's done, ultimately you're going to crash. And what's left is the realization that you just wasted 4 days being worried about nothing, and you get super fucking depressed over it, and you can't function anymore.
Yeah, it don't hit. It's a shitty feedback loop. But anxiety manifests itself differently for almost everybody. Well, for me, when I'm having I have lower levels of anxiety that do not do this to me. But when I'm having the worst iteration of anxiety that I ever experienced, I shake like violently. Like if my phone was a water bottle, like I put a water bottle up to my mouth, it's like, it's literally shaking like that. And my legs are shaking that violently too. So I can't hardly walk or stand up because my legs won't hold my weight because they're shaking. And so like, I tell my doctor this, and he's like, how would you describe your anxiety? And I was like, I said all that. And I was like, so, I'd say it's like debilitating. I was like, I would call it crippling. Cause like, literally crippling. Like, I can't walk. I can't stand up. I can't. Right. It's that bad. And he was like, all right, well, let's try this out. And it was, he gave me like literally the mildest thing they prescribe anybody who has any form of anxiety. Like,
here's some white tea.
Yeah. It's like, I did tell him, I said, I don't want to start taking a pill every day in my life. I don't want that. But what I would like is a break glass in case of emergency. Yes. And because I'm a comedian, if I have this kind of panic attack shit right before I go on stage, what am I going to do? Whatever. And I tell him all that. And then he prescribes me the mildest thing. And so in my head, I'm asking myself all these questions. I was like, I know people get prescribed these more hardcore Xanax, hardcore anxiety. What are those people saying? Like, what am I not? When I say I'm literally crippled by my anxiety, what else am I supposed to say to you to get that to happen? But just for everybody's listening who hasn't heard me talk about this before, I've been talking about this shit on my Patreon and stuff for forever because, of course, I have. It's, fucking whole diary entry over there. But for anybody this is news to, it's actually, knock on wood, it's been very, very, very much under control for like months now. So don't fret not about your boy. Yeah. But it was real bad there for a while. And I've never, point being, if you got a doctor who you can go to and talk to your doctor about some drug you saw on TV that you think hits, and he's like, shit, why not? Keep that doctor.
And also send us an email and tell us what the fuck you're saying.
Yeah, because I've had so many doctors. I've never had one of those mythical doctors in my life. I've never had a doctor who actually hooks me up. Was because and I know it sounds like I just want pills that hit. I'm only talking about circumstances where I need them. Yes. Like I have needed them and they've never given them to me. They just tell me to fucking deal with it.
So I'll be honest with you. So like what they give me for anxiety that I'm supposed to take they say take every night or as needed. And I don't take it every night. And the reason I don't take it every night is because I'm like, I know if I take it every night, then if there's a night I don't take it, shit will hit the fan. So I don't, like if I'm having a decent night, I don't take it, which by the way is proof that I'm responsible with pills. Right. So, but the fucking trazodone that I take, like, I'm not saying it don't help, but dude, when I'm having real bad anxiety, it is throwing a tic tac on a pile of horse shit. Yeah. And I told my doctor, I was like, listen to me. I'm not saying that I want to take Xanax every day. I don't. I don't need to. I said, hell, I don't even need to take the trazodone every day. I said, but there is sometimes, like you said, a break in case of emergency situation that I need to have a bottle on me for just in case. And I was just honest with him. I said, and I know you're going to be like, well, how do you know that Xanax works for you if you've never been prescribed? I'm like, because I've had one of Mama's nerve. I've had it given to me. Matter of fact, the first panic attack I ever had in my life, didn't know what it was. A comedian who I won't name because technically the act that he did was illegal. He said, here, take this, you'll be fine. It was a Xanax, and I was fine. And I never thought I'm going to abuse this. I was like, but goddamn, if that happens again, I sure would like to have that. And truth be told, I do have a bottle right now of emergency that, because this past week, I went to DEFCON fucking 1, which I know sounds less, but technically that's the term for when it's the worst.
It is.
Just making sure everybody knows that, like, I get that. Just need you to know, I get it. So anyways, I had to call somebody. So like, my point is to my doctor, I'm gonna get it. I'm gonna find that shit. Except for now, I'm committing a crime.
Yeah.
I'm committing a fucking crime. And by the way, I got this whole bottle of it like 2 weeks ago, and have only taken 2. I've only taken 2 because I use them when I need them. I'm not trying to get fucked up, but like, like you said, what the fuck do I need to tell you? Other than sometimes I'm laying there and I think to myself, if I didn't have a child or a wife, that I would go get a fucking gun. You motherfucker. What, oh, you know, I don't know. I'm a minimalist when it comes to all that. What if I went on stage and stood there for a fucking hour and didn't say shit? And then everybody was like, what the fuck was that show? I'm a minimalist when it comes to telling jokes. Well, bitch, get the fuck out of comedy. You ever thought about that? Don't tell fucking jokes.
One thing I'll say in, like, I guess defense of them, or just trying to play devil's advocate, or something I've thought about, the impression I've gotten before. I think you have to consider how many people they're seeing and how many cases they're seeing,
I know,
and the range of severity and stuff. And it's like I know with like therapists and stuff, when I was having the anxiety problems, or when we would talk about my depression or whatever, like using depression as an example, they would be like, well, so are you like unable to get out of bed? Are you laying in bed in the dark all day and you're not accomplishing anything, and you never go outside, you can't talk to anyone, and you're not bathing and all? And I was like, No,
I got bills.
I was like, I'm still doing everything I need to do. It's just like, nothing hits. And they're like, well, okay. Like they don't say it, but you can tell they're like, okay, you don't. Well, come back when you're going to kill yourself. Okay.
Right.
Because I got a lot of shit going on. It's like, oh, they talk to a lot of people who are about to kill themselves.
They do.
So compared to that, they're like, oh, this guy, hell, you ain't even that bad. And with pain, if you're talking about compared to like what, a gunshot wound or like getting an arm lopped off,
or I fell on my back.
But I'm saying, surely they're like, I know that it hurts real bad, but I'm saying like catastrophic injuries, there have to be some that they deal with that are worse than, what happened to you.
Of course. But that doesn't mean I'm not hurting. But by the way,
saying it's hard for them to, maybe that has nothing to do with it. I just think that sometimes they have a different spectrum of experience, obviously.
We do. And before we go any further on this, we definitely need to take a break. So we will be right back where we'll still probably
POA stuff.
yeah, perhaps. Sorry, I'm on one. So we'll be right back right after this. Fellas, blink if you haven't purchased a Father's Day gift yet. Yeah, we thought so. Well, today's episode is brought to you by Manscaped, the leaders in below-the-waist grooming. Maybe your pops has had a bush since the 70s, and that's okay. Our friends at Manscaped have crafted the Total Package for his special day. Whether it's for the boys downstairs, his beard, or even the best pair of underwear out there, I can confirm Manscaped has all his bases covered. Head over to manscaped.com and get 20% off plus free shipping with code POA20 from daddy to zaddy. Trust Manscaped. I'll tell you, every single thing about Manscaped hits for me. I use all of their products. Their beard conditioner has really taken my beard up to a level that I didn't think that it could be. I'm always talking, however, about the ball deodorant because I'm a walker. I do like 10 miles a day. I put on some of that ball deodorant, and even after a 10-mile hike, I come home. Everything else about me may stink, but not my nutsack, baby. Know what I'm saying? It's wonderful, and their beard grooming thing is great for me because you don't have to keep up with any guards. You just clickety, clickety, click, and there you go. Trae, tell them more about our friends at Manscaped.
All right, y'all know that beard trimmer your dad's been using since you was in grade school? It probably needs upgrading, don't you think? Well, introducing the Beard Hedger Pro Kit, the complete beard maintenance kit for all those bearded kings out there. This all-in-one kit comes with a beard hedger, Manscaped's most advanced beard trimmer, as well as shampoo, conditioner, oil, and balm for his beard. It also comes with a brush, comb, and scissors so he can style his beard and mustache like the gentleman he is. No beard kit would be complete without Manscaped's handyman face shaver for that smooth finish we know he loves. This bad boy is all he's going to need. Compact enough to fit into any travel case. Make sure he takes this on his next business trip. He carries a lot of body hair like most dads do. Well, you're in luck with the Performance Package 5.0 Ultra. This bad boy is designed with fathers in mind, featuring the signature Lawnmower 5.0. This Father's Day is also the perfect time for your old man to stop stealing his wife's nail clippers and finally have a kit of his own that will last him a lifetime. The Shears 3.0 is the 5-piece precision men's nail grooming kit that any father needs to stay on top of his self-care with professional-grade stainless steel tools sized and styled for the task at hand. That set of underwear you got for Christmas a decade ago definitely needs upgrading too. What better way than with Manscaped's Boxers 2.0? The Boxers 2.0 were designed with a simple mission: to make the most comfortable boxers a man could buy. It starts with the Youll pouch, a dedicated space that cradles your stones in place with a perforated performance fabric for extra breathability. So, get 20% off with free shipping when you use the code POA20 at manscaped.com. That's 20% off with free shipping at manscaped.com and use the code POA20. Never forget where you came from, if you know what I mean. Happy Father's Day from Manscaped. Well, summer's here, y'all. Time to make them plans. Hit the beach or climb a mountain or, whatever, Disney World, whatever you want to do. Disney World. Summertime is the time to do it. But I think we all know, all of us adults out here, especially those of us with families, with children, we know that summer plans can sometimes cause more stress than relaxation. Everybody's hollering at each other, can't get a smile in a picture to save your life. It's just one thing after another. You spend the whole day being like, that's how I feel oftentimes. But you know what's good for that? Well, if you get a nice mellow THC high using Mood's sleepy, chill, or relieved product lines, then you might just be able to unwind this summer. Mood's potent product lineup is the perfect companion for whatever you got planned this summer. Their hemp-based THCA flower is the future of legal THC. Try it along with all of Mood's other amazing offerings like flower gummies, vapes, and more. And for a limited time, Mood is giving our listeners a free THCA pre-roll and 20% off your first order. Just visit hellomood.com and use our code POA. Mood hits for me. We've said before, it's no secret around here. THC, I've got a spotty history with it, and that's being generous. When I was in my 20s and didn't have any kind of real responsibilities or adult worries or anything, I could smoke a bag of weed. Also, back then, weed hadn't been made nuclear grade yet. I feel like that was a part of it too. But I used to be able to, I could toke up, play Xbox, do all that stuff. Loved it. And then one day everything changed. And then all I would do was commune with the void and sort of fell out of love with weed, frankly, because going to the void in the shadow realm every time will do that to a man. Listen to me, hear me out. Mood hits for me because it don't do that to me. I had kind of given up hope that I'd find something that didn't make me commune with the void, but Mood is like that. I do use it for chilling purposes. That won't surprise y'all. I like the like sleepy time mode that comes in this blue bag of the sleepy time gummies. Those are my favorite. I was trying those, sleeping like the dead, y'all. Get some good Z's in, baby. And it's all chill, never freaked out once. Again, I had given up hope. I daren't dream that I would find a product that would provide that for me, but Mood actually does it, and it hits for me. So, yes, Cho, tell them more about it.
By the way, I echo everything Trae says, and coincidentally, I am going to Disney World this summer and taking children for the first time, and I have decided, you know what's coming with me? Mood, because I'm already going to be sweating my fat ass off, so I may as well not add booze to it. So I'm going to get my mellow on with mood. And by the way, since the THCA converts to THC when you heat it, which is scientific and I absolutely love it, you get access to that classic marijuana high, the one Trae was talking about, the one that doesn't send you into the void, right? Mood puts an end to guessing games with federally legal forms of THC extracted from hemp plants. You know exactly what you're getting every time because they're calculated doses. All their products are regularly tested in third-party labs, different strains for specific moods. Like, do you want to just feel that classic euphoric, hey, I'm just in a great mood? Do you want to be energized? Do you need that kind of upper? Like if you're like me and maybe you want to take it to create or whatever, to be creative, or do you just want to chill and do the ones that Trae likes so much? Plenty of versatile products that you can go with for whatever mood you are in. Add more relaxation to your summer plans with Mood. For a limited time only, get 20% off your first order and a free THCA pre-roll. Just go to hellomood.com and use the promo code POA. That's hello, MOOD.com, code POA for 20% off your order and a free THCA pre-roll. Get in the mood, baby, and tell them we sent you. Skew.
And we're back, everybody. Yeah, I know we got to chose on one. I got on one with him. What are you gonna do? I did have a couple of things.
Can I say fuck the Sacklers? Can I say fuck the Sacklers?
You want to talk about the Sacklers?
Well,
That's
we don't
They're
have
fancy,
to. I know that they are. They got boats that poop boats.
Right.
Right.
So you know they fancy. Yeah.
Right. So they're the ones that have fucked all of this. You know, but I have, and I know that you're probably with me on this because I waffle between you should never have made a fucking pill that was that intense and was that addictive. You should never have done that. I don't give a fuck what your reasoning was, where you were like, well, we figured if we did it as a slow release that it wouldn't be as addictive because you wouldn't get that euphoric blah, blah, blah. But when the reports came out that you were killing these coal miners in Kentucky, you doubled down on it and you made 90 milligram pills. You should have never done all that shit, and fuck you. But then I waffle between the thing that me and you talk about a lot, which is like, there's still personal responsibility and I should be able to fucking have one. God damn it.
Big Pharma in general is like, I do think about that dynamic all the time where it's like everybody, they're like universally shat upon. Big Pharma, right. Evil corporation, everybody knows.
Until we need them.
They don't hit for nobody. But it's like they have developed, manufactured, and sold a lot of things that have saved people's lives, improved people's lives greatly. Like medicine is miraculous these days, right. And Big Pharma is a huge part of that. That is true. It's just that they're a profit-driven,
right.
Industry in late-stage capitalist America.
Right.
So what that means is they then engage in tactics that are not at all cool. Like I think developing OxyContin or whatever in and of itself could have been fine. But what they then did, which was purposefully get as many people addicted to it as possible by lying to them and saying it wasn't addictive at all, that is evil and nefarious to the utmost degree, and that is inexcusable. So that's, it just depends on how you look at it or talk about it, I guess. But it's overall they don't hit.
They don't hit.
But pills do hit.
Pills hit so hard. So anyways, I know you had some stuff that was probably more fun. I had to get on a soapbox real quick because I'm literally standing. This is the first time I've done this an episode of POA standing up, and I got to tell you, there's an energy that you get when you're standing up in front of a microphone.
I've noticed, or I was wondering, I was like, is this because he's standing up, or
it
is he like, has he drank the pain away or attempted to, because like you've been like you're not animated because you can barely move, but like
I can do this. Yeah,
you're like you're energized.
No, I think it's because this is the position that I'm normally in when I'm on stage. So it feels like I'm performing, whereas sitting down, it feels like whatever. I don't know. I may do this more often. People immediately are in the comments, please do not do this more often.
You are extra right now.
Extra.
No, you're fine. This is one of, I don't know how fancy this is, but it's this lady here. Can you see that lady?
I can't see. Hold on. Let me hold on. Let me
zoom in on her a little bit.
Let me pull my shit up. Okay, there we go.
This is Mary Ann Bevan. And
Mary Ann Bevan?
Yeah, she had the same disease that
as Shrek,
as well as Andre the Giant, and the big Kali.
Yep.
Acromegaly or acromegaly, or I don't know.
Yeah, where
exactly
you
how to
just
say it.
don't quit growing.
It's a pituitary gland
Yeah.
disease. But anyway, so she had a disorder, not her fault. Apparently, also purportedly, and I don't know if it always works this way or in certain cases, but when she was younger, it hadn't like kicked in, like it developed when she got older. She didn't used to look nothing like this. For people that are only listening, this is a lady who in 1914, she, the past, dude, the past is, the past
this
bats
picture is like not, yeah, they
at
do.
being a nightmare.
Yeah.
This lady's husband died. She had 2 young kids. Back then, woman couldn't do nothing to hit. You know, that was complete. Woman hitting was completely outside of the law. And it's 1914. It's the past. Husband's dead. Now society says, I guess you and them kids also just go die somewhere. If you ain't got a rich uncle, or if you can't find some other man to keep you from dying, I guess you're just going to die.
Yeah,
right?
of course.
That's how it worked. She had no recourse. What she did was she saw an ad in the paper for a like circus or the equivalent, having a contest to determine the quote ugliest woman in the world. So she entered this contest and
good for her. Take your power back.
Won it, and then joined the like freak show or whatever, and toured around the country as the ugliest woman in the world, and made a lot of money from that, and like, you know, raised your kids and put them through probably not college, World War I, probably. You know,
right.
Where they got killed immediately. But I don't know. I have no idea if that happened or not. But it was just a nightmarish time to be alive. But what I think very tragic about this is, again, reportedly this lady, this disease she had, it didn't kick in until she was in her like 30s or 40s or something. So like when she was younger,
I could do that.
When she was younger, she didn't look nothing like this. She, you know, was totally regular looking lady, and just like imagine something like that happening,
just
bro.
Clicking
like
in.
Tomorrow you wake up and you look at your face, you're like, my face don't hit today, and then like by a month later you look like Andre the Giant, except you bald and stuff. You look like the
dude from the Goonies.
Baby Ruth. Yeah, right.
Yeah, we both knew.
Yeah,
we both knew. Okay.
Sloth.
Yeah. Well, for the record, I have woken up most days, looked in the mirror, and thought to myself, my face don't hit. But it was not an overnight thing.
A funny thing about this story, though, I thought of, because, you know, all these poor souls involved, they're all long dead, so their suffering has ended. But this was a contest, dude.
Mm-hmm.
So somebody got second place,
right?
In the ugliest woman in the world contest.
Yeah, imagine.
And didn't get shit for it. Just got told, like, you are pert near the ugliest bitch on earth. But go back to your fucking gutter or whatever. Go back to underneath your troll or your bridge or your swamp or whatnot. We ain't giving you no money. Like, this lady, at least, like, she got paid for it. And, you know, fed her family and whatnot. All them other, you know, hose beasts that showed up or whatnot, they
you know, there were hipsters.
They didn't get none out of it.
You know, there were hipsters, though, because there were some people that were like, oh, yeah, you know, like I can't, like the Stephen A. Smith version of this, like, everybody wants to talk about Marianne Bevan, okay? Yeah. The ugliest bitch there ever was. Yeah. You telling me that Stephanie Von Braun ain't a uglier bitch? Have you seen her teeth? Look at her teeth. God damn it. You know, like there had to have been something like that going on.
That feels like a very...
Was that an okay enough Stephen A. Smith impression that I'm not going to be racist?
It wasn't bad. No, it's but I do feel like that's a more recent, like the idea of like ESPN style sports hot take commentary, but for like freak show culture or whatever
segment. We just came across a segment.
It's funny. That's
we should do for POA. We should take stories from like European history, fancy stories, and we should do like a hot take show as if the issues are just happening now. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Bookmark that for later. That would be funny. This reminded me, by the way, Trae, and I know that you know this story because you're a scoundrel, just like me. And I'll shout her out because obviously she's very proud of this. The Guinness World Record holder for most dicks, I guess, or getting bukkakied or whatever, it was either in a day or was it within a couple hours, whatever. It's Lisa Sparks, and that's Sparks with 3 X's, Sparks. she and this is off the top of my head, so reckless speculation. She had sex with 918 dudes in a 24-hour period, and I believe, and I'm sorry, this is not safe for work. I believe every single one of them also, to conclude and sort of mark that they were finished, spunked on her face, right? All in this one day, one after another, she sat in this chair. And I saw it pointed out more than once, and I think about it all the time, is that someone is the second, like someone's in second place to her. Like someone had one less dick in a day, and they don't have that record.
When did she set that record? Do you know?
I want to say that it was in 2012 or something like that. I could be wrong. You know, I can look that up on my phone while you're
Because
talking.
I remember when I was a kid, I had a Guinness Book of World Records, and that entry was in it, and I found it so shocking.
Oh, really? That was in it then?
Well, it wasn't her though.
Right.
What I'm getting at is, she probably surpassed a previous record holder.
She did.
So the lady who's like technically in second held the title for
a
X
long
number
time.
of years.
Yep.
And then got beat. It's not like they both showed up on the same day and were like, bring in the dicks. And one lady just crapped out one dick too soon or nothing and went home empty handed. I don't know about empty handed, but everything was filled. But you know what I mean? It didn't work that way. So it's a little bit easier to swallow.
Yeah, right. Great fun. So Lisa Sparks set the world record on October 16th, 2004. Where she set the world record, I think, is interesting.
Okay, that actually might be the one I'm thinking.
Warsaw, Poland. That's where she broke the record. She achieved the record. She achieved the record by sleeping with 919 men over a period of 24 hours. That would mean she spent only 45 seconds having sex with each man, which, by the way, that checks out.
Yeah, I was trying to do that math. And that's what I was just about there at 45 seconds at a time. Yeah, why don't you just put an ad in the paper and you just sign up?
I guess. Dude, listen to this. Sparks set the incredible record having sex with 919 men in a single day as part of the annual World Gangbang Championship. Yeah. The American fought off fierce competition from a rival who was the former world record holder, boasting of sleeping with. Now, let's keep in mind that Lisa Sparks set the record at 919 men. The woman that she beat, how many do you think she had?
904.
759. Dude, Lisa Sparks fucking absolute. Dude, it was like Tiger Woods in 97. Yeah. Right, I'm winning by 12 strokes and I'm the only motherfucker under par. What are you talking about? This is a different game.
Yes,
that's unbelievable.
That is unbelievable.
Sorry to everybody.
Right. You were something about that. Damn it. You made me think of something. And now it is just gone.
Oh, we were talking about the ugliest woman in history with the Andre the Giant thing.
I know, but you brought up the pork and whores and all that.
Take your time. I can edit this while you think about it.
I feel like it might just be gone. I don't know that I'm going to get back to it.
Well, that's unfortunate, and I feel bad.
That's all right. Well, we'll see what happens. But I had another thing that I wanted to show you. I feel like we may have also done this at one point.
Who cares?
On the show, but these are different pictures. These are different pictures at the very least. Also, yes, if you're listening only, you should watch on YouTube because I don't know how this is going to translate.
Oh fuck, dude!
This is oh fuck. Hold on, what's going on? There it is.
Okay. Oh, sorry, bending over to share it. It really didn't hit for me.
This is you have to allow.
I have to allow it, which means I have to bend down to do it. Yeah, and it don't hit. There needs to be a thing where I don't have to.
This is a thread of hidden sculptures.
Oh, I love this shit, dude. You got the one with the dude where he's grabbing the lady.
The Rape of Persephone, I believe is what that one's called. That's by Bernini. Yeah. That's an all-timer for me.
I feel so bad for Persephone in that. But
that's from like Greek mythology or whatever. So everybody was getting raped. She's lucky she didn't get raped by a swan. You know what I mean? Like it's but anyway, not
Hercules. Was it Hercules or Zeus that turned into swans
and raped people? Zeus, and I think he did that to Hercules' mama. And that's
did you know that? Did you know that is the origin of my internet character Aunt Lita?
What?
Yeah,
How?
because Zeus turned into a swan and raped a woman. Her name was Lita, right? Her name
Uh-huh.
was Lita, Lita. And so the first video I ever did was I was watching a documentary and I saw that. It was like he came down in the form of a bird, and then it's, with this lady Lita. And so I showed that part from the documentary, and then I cut to documentary style me in that pink wig. And I think my line was just like, I was like, y'all, I fucked a bird. And
Yeah.
like, that was it. And her name was Lita because that was the actual like Zeus person's name. And
Yeah.
so everybody liked it. And I was like, well, she's just Aunt Lita now. But like in canon, she's from the BC era.
Jesus Christ, dude. This sculpture thread is on Twitter and off to the side on Twitter, like trending now. There's a thing trending now. It says Michigan farm worker tests positive for H5N1 avian flu.
Wasn't that like
Here
an
we go.
Obama era flu?
And yeah, pandemic round 2, electric boogaloo, baby.
Hey, can I tell you something right now? And I don't mean that this is how it should be, but if there's pandemic 2 electric boogaloo, we just got to accept that like we ain't doing it. It ain't happening.
No.
It ain't happening, bro. Like, and I don't mean me. I don't mean that I won't take precaution. I'm just telling you right now that if you think people are gonna act like they did in 2019 once more again, you've lost your goddamn mind. So buckle up, because people just about to die in the name of freedom.
Yep. So anyway, these toes here, it's got toes dipping in the water, and the toes are like the water is flowing over the toes, but the whole thing is carved out of one piece of marble, and it's like it looks like you can like see through the water at the foot underneath it, but it's all just rock. Like I don't know how that be, right? And then,
by the way, this was all probably Christian art, which is really crazy.
Yeah, dude. The Lord's old shit is
so
great.
Good. His old work was
his
unbelievable.
old shit hit real hard. Yeah, I don't know what he's been doing. Like his new shit don't hit at all. But
no, the last time the Lord's shit hit was Creed, and then it was all over.
Right. Yeah, but yeah, no, I tried to make a bit about that years ago.
Me too.
About like the Lord's old shit or whatever.
Me too.
Never people were always like, what? But like, yeah, almost all super hitting art from throughout history originated with the Lord. Yeah, like
and now
the church paid for it. If it wasn't for the church, we wouldn't have none of that shit.
Right. And now
wild.
If you hear Christian rock, you're like, get the fuck out of here. Yes, and all the paintings are just like Jesus with Trump, like it.
Yeah. Michelangelo's David apparently has heart-shaped pupils. I guess it was common, it says, for sculptures to have slits in the pupils, which added depth or symbolizing the reflection of light. But in David's case, the pupils are heart-shaped for some reason. That one's neat, but not as, mind-blowing as the other one. But this shit here, though.
That shit right there.
It's an intricate net with a hand inside. So it's like a net, a fishing net wrapped around a hand, all carved from a single block of marble. It took 7 years. And I get it. Look at that, dude. From one big ass slab of rock, turning that into that.
Especially when he's only doing it with like a chisel or whatever. Like 7 years is actually that's pretty fast work in my opinion.
Yeah, dude. I mean, it's nuts.
Like how long it took Andy Dufresne to get his ass out of Shawshank. Like this is way more hardcore than that,
Right. Yeah. Wild as hell.
Dude, that shit is bananas.
The mind-boggling detail of Michelangelo's Moses. So it says this muscle that's pointing to, that's contracted in the forearm of the statue. It says that muscle in real life, it only contracts when the little finger is raised, and the statue Moses is lifting his pinky. Therefore, that's why
accurate.
He made that muscle contracted. Dude, them Renaissance men, like the actual ones, like Michelangelo and like Da Vinci and Leonardo, them some bitches, like the fact that he did the Sistine Chapel, but also this stuff, it's like
it's nuts. Like,
does anybody who hits like that that's alive right now?
Childish Gambino. You know what I mean?
No, I thought of Donald Glover, but
I'm being facetious, but at the same time, it's like that's what this is, though, is someone who like excels at multiple forms of art. You know, at
Yes.
multiple forms of art. There's not a lot of people who do it. You know, honestly, like I think I kind of would put, again, by the way, all these people pale in comparison to Michelangelo and all them, but like
You're gonna say Ben Affleck?
No, I was gonna say Ryan Gosling's moving up the list for me because not only is he a tremendous actor, but he's also a great comedian. He's also a great dancer. He's a great performer, and he's in the entertainment business, but in several facets he crushes.
But
Danny Kaye.
I agree with. Well, see, I was about to say Ryan Gosling. I agree with, but if you really think about it, he's kind of just a throwback to an earlier
Danny
era
Kaye
because I actually had written that down as a note that I wanted to bring up at some point. But like,
I want to talk about
back in the day, like
you had to be a 5-tool guy.
You had to be a 5. Those dudes, man. They were like you had to be able to dance, you had to be able to sing, you had to have like vaudeville bits in your back pocket, no jokes, and make ladies swoon. You had to do all this shit,
like
or they wouldn't let you through the fucking door, dude. And
like,
it's not really a thing anymore, except for like Gosling. But
people
it used
don't
to
get
be the
that
standard. You know,
people don't get that. But like Marlon Brando and Jimmy Caan and a lot of those guys, they were very unique in the sense that they were like, we're actors. We act, and we're method actors, and we're doing this thing because like back in the day, if you weren't a full showman, you may as well, like MGM's not fucking hiring you because they're like, well, it's great that you can act, but like this movie has a song and dance number, and you've got to be able to do that shit. And that's why, by the way, I've said it a million times, I think Singing in the Rain is the greatest movie of all time, and it holds up because the entire cast they have to excel at 5 separate things, and they do the whole fucking time. Yeah,
it's nuts. So here on the sculpture list is the one you were talking about earlier, and it's kind of annoying me that it's a video that won't stop moving around because I'm gonna try to pause it on the hittingest part, in my opinion, of this sculpture. You can kind of see it right there. Is where his fingers dig into her butt meat or whatever. Which again, it's considering this is rock we're talking about here. It's absolutely insane. And this tweet here calls it the abduction of Proserpina. I think they're woken it up or something. They're edited because I Googled it just to make sure. I had seen it listed as, well, okay, the Wikipedia page says the rape of Proserpina, and it says the rape of Proserpina, more accurately translated as the abduction of Proserpina.
Because in this, so I mean, he rapes her later. He rapes her later. The rape is assumed, right? But the abduction is actually what you're seeing.
Proserpina, the daughter of Jupiter and Ceres, the Roman goddess of agriculture, is gathering flowers when she is seized by the god of the underworld, Pluto. Pluto erupts from the ground in a chariot pulled by 4 black horses and forces Proserpina down into the underworld with him, but not before Ceres could hear her daughter scream. Ceres dried the earth and caused harvest to fail, prompting Jupiter to negotiate a deal. Pluto and Ceres would each have Proserpina for half the year. The myth symbolizes the changing of the seasons. When Proserpina is with Pluto, nature dies, winter begins. When she resides with Ceres, the earth is spring. So it's funny, like everything came back to rape back then. It's like teaching kids how the seasons work or whatever. And it's like, well, this god's daughter got raped by the devil and now we have snow. But
dude, not that
but like the fact that in the middle there that this is Jupiter's daughter in the story got abducted and raped. And the baby mama, his daughter's mother, was furious about that, rightfully so. And his response was like, well, how about you share custody with the rapist? I mean, he did take her. So now she is his because this is the past.
That's how that works.
How it works. Yeah, right. Yeah. But
he planted his dick flag, and like that's how that goes. By the way, I'm in no way saying that it justifies how men be. I'm not. But like you read history with this stuff, and then with also the stuff in the Bible, and you kind of go, yeah, it makes a lot of sense why it's taken men a long time to get to the point that we are now, where we respect women and let them do stuff, because all of the art, all of the teachings in every book was just like, hey, finders rapers, You know what I
right.
mean? Like that's what kids and men were taught, and it was just like that's how it is. And again, I'm not justifying it. I'm just saying like that's how it was, bro.
Yeah. So I accidentally closed this. I opened it back up. There's some more here. This handkerchief, the detail on the handkerchief of the Duc de Montpensiers.
The Dude de Montpensiers?
Yeah, marble statue. I mean,
Did I get that right?
It is a pretty hidden handkerchief. I don't know either.
Dude de Montpensiers?
The Duc de Montpensier. I don't know. See here, over 100 years before medical science accurately described the circulatory system, Michelangelo perfectly sculpted the jugular vein in his statue of David.
Get the fuck out of here.
Yeah, pretty wild.
Where are you at on this?
Marble turned into lace. Look at that lace collar or whatever there, made out of rock.
Let me tell you how impressive that is. If someone painted that, I would think it was one of the most impressive things I've ever seen.
Right.
And that is fucking rock, dude. Like the smoothness blows me away. And this is how much of a pretentious dick Michelangelo is. And I love him for this. I'm pretty sure this was his quote. And I want to know where you stand on this quote. And you probably know it. I've probably told it to you before. But like someone asked him, they were like, how do you sculpt the way that you sculpt? And he was like, it is easy. I just look at the rock and everything that isn't supposed to be there, I take it away.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, okay, that's sure, but like, nah.
Yes, there's a subreddit called "The Rest of the Fucking Owl."
Owl,
Owl, the rest of the fucking owl. Let me find the original meme and show it to you because it's kind of. I feel like that quote is kind of the rest of the fucking owl quote. Yeah, it's.
Is it bullshit quotes through history?
No, it's like okay. Yeah. I want to make that bigger, but I can't. Okay. I'm sharing this tab now. So it originates from this picture, which is just supposed to be, something that hits, I think. But it's it's an instructional guide. It says how to draw an owl, a fun and creative guide for beginners. Step 1, draw 2 circles, right? And then it's just after that, step 2 is a perfectly drawn owl. Step 2, draw the rest of the fucking owl. And so it's like whenever there's like that is not helpful is the point.
Right.
Like it's like
they're so smart
to be instructive, but it's like it doesn't actually help in any way.
It's almost like them saying like, I'm sorry, but you can't do what I do.
Yeah,
like, you know what I mean? Like you can't do what I do. There's all those pretentious quotes. One of my favorites is I actually remember this from a Ricky Gervais stand-up special. It was Oscar Wilde. Do you remember this one? When Oscar Wilde is going through customs. I don't know if he's coming to America or whatever, but this is like a very famous quote from him that a lot of people jack off. But like Ricky Gervais, as Ricky Gervais does, taking the piss out of it, he feels similarly as to how I feel. They asked Oscar Wilde, they go, do you have anything to declare? And he goes, only my genius. What a piece of shit. You know what I mean? What a fucking piece of shit. And like so many people like so many fucking like NPR liberals like jack that shit off. And it's like, that is the most like, dude, fuck you. That is the like, I just remove everything that's not the statue of David.
There's another one in that same vein. I feel like that I always remember from Picasso.
Yep.
And he says, he's like, when I was younger, my mother told me if I was to go into the church, I would have been the Pope. If I was to go into business, I would have been the richest man alive. If I went into politics, I would be the president. But I'm a painter, and so I became Picasso.
Yeah.
And it's like
that one still kind of hits because it's like a rap bar.
Right.
While we're on Picasso, my absolute favorite fucking Picasso line ever. And I've actually used this. I'm not gonna. You're gonna be like, well, that's very Raven. I've used this when negotiating with people who were asking for my services on making their company a video. I've literally compared myself to Picasso. and so here's the thing. They'll be like, why is it that much? It's going to take you 5 minutes or whatever. Well, anyways, Picasso is sitting at a cafe and this woman comes up and she goes, are you Pablo Picasso? He's like, yes, I am. How are you? And she's like, oh my God, I'm such a big fan. Could you, give me your autograph or whatever? She pulls out a napkin. He gives the autograph, and she goes, could you like make a doodle on there? Like, could you do a doodle? And he goes, yeah, that'll be $1 million. And she goes, what? And he goes, that'll be $1 million. And she goes, why would it be $1 million? It's going to take you 30 seconds. And he said, my dear, you're not paying for the 30 seconds that it takes me to do it. You're paying for the 50 years that it took me to be able to do it in 30 seconds. Right. And I was like, you know what? As pretentious as it is, that's fucking right. You know what I mean? That is what you're paying for. You're not paying for that time right then. You're paying for it's back pay for how long it took me to hit this hard to do this. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And yes, I've gotten more money for my videos because of that explanation.
I was hoping one of these would be on here too, because I've seen a few that are like this and it always blows my mind. This is a marble veil. It's like a character that was sculpted underneath a veil.
Wow.
And it is so incredibly lifelike. This says that it was so astonishingly lifelike that the artist Giuseppe Sammartino was accused of alchemy to turn fabric into stone.
You're a wizard.
It is the past we're talking about, and everybody was R-worded. But
that's crazy. Like,
this is not a real mattress. This is a marble mattress sculpted by Bernini for the sleeping hermaphroditus.
Bernini is my shit. He's the goat, dude. He's the fucking goat.
He's the marble goat for sure. Look at them titties.
See,
The
unbelievable.
Veil of Truth by Antonio Corradini. Like, that's I mean, that's fire.
I do not dude. That's that. So, dude. It's so fucking.
I'm about
fire.
to get a boner looking at this rock.
I just realized that
staring at a rock.
I just realized that what I was about to pitch is just epic rap battles through history, which I don't know if they still do those anymore, but those really hit for me. But like, I want to bring those back and like just write bars for like Bernini and shit, like, and just do them as if I was him about how much he hits. Because dude, go back up to that one where she's under the veil. Like I genuinely can't.
That one's not Bernini.
That one right. No. That one. Go back down. That one right there.
Yeah, that's not Bernini though. But yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, either way, this is a Bernini. He's a peer, or whatever. But Bernini be doing this shit. Yes. I cannot understand how you can get both the veil and the realism behind the veil at the same time. I can't. I don't get it. Like, I understand. I say I understand both separately. Like, I kind of understand, like, oh, you make the person, but I do not understand how you carve it in a way to where it's like, I can see perfectly that it's this person, but there is a veil on top of it. It blows my mind. It is genius of a level that I can't comprehend. And that frankly, I don't think anyone in this current world possesses. And I maybe I'm being facetious, but like, that's crazy.
Yeah, I mean, again, this one here.
That one right there, that's Bernini, right?
No, that's Antonio Corradini.
Antonio Corradini hits too, man.
Yes,
maybe
he does.
I'm saying, too much shine on Bernini.
And this one here, look at this. This is a statue from Marco de Agrete, which depicts Saint Bartholomew, an early Christian martyr who was skinned alive. If you look closely, you'll notice that's not a robe he's holding. It's actually his own dissected skin. I think he means desiccated skin.
Yeah, right.
But either way, that is metal as fuck.
It's so metal, dude.
I love that shit.
It's just crazy. Like, it's just crazy, man. Like, and again, when you think about, like, this is BC, dog. Like, this is fucking BC.
What?
Like,
what are you talking about? Era?
Yeah. Wait, no, this isn't BC. This is this is
which is like the 1400s, something like that.
Yeah. You're right. My bad. Not BC, but like 13.
Still,
right.
A while back.
It's I'm trying to make BC work for me and pretend like I'm in it somewhere else. This is before computers. Yeah. We'll do that. This is BC. This is before computer. But either way, my point is, this was at a goddamn time when, like, you literally, these motherfuckers just had a hammer.
Yeah.
And a fucking vision. Like, nowadays, you could 3D print that shit. Right. And I mean, frankly, that would still hit for me. But like, Name a motherfucker doing some Bernini shit right now, dog. You can't.
Right. No.
You can't.
I mean,
There ain't
sometimes,
nobody.
sometimes I wonder if they are out there, if they do exist.
But they're not as. But it doesn't. We don't care.
Right. Society just thinks that, Logan Paul hits harder.
Right. Well, you know what? Let's look that up for next week. Is like some modern day Berninis. Which, by the way,
sexy ass piece of rock right there,
it is.
bro. Chauncey Bradley Ives turned stone into wet silk, and Undine rising from the waters.
And I gotta tell you, like, if you're a modern day Bernini and people are saying like, oh, he's derivative of Bernini, you'll hear none of that from me. I will still be impressed with your work, because that's actually what I think is so crazy about it. Is that if that was being done now, I would be equally as impressed.
Okay. I'm sorry to keep doing this to you.
I don't care.
But I just saw this. It's directly relevant to what you're talking about. So you got to share my screen.
I clicked it.
Again.
I'm in pain, but I clicked it.
This is an internet video of a modern day sculptor named Hakan Anton Figueres. Making a pillow.
Pillow.
Sorry, I said pillar like a redneck says pillar,
right.
but I realized
stone
pillars are very confusing. A pillow, making a pillow out of marble. And I mean, look at that.
That's crazy, dude.
That's pretty wild. And this dude, look at all that shit surrounding it. So, like, I mean, this guy's over there in Handefarten land.
Yeah.
And he's out there doing it. Look at that. Now, like you said, he's got like a tool. You know what I mean? Like that's that's still incredible.
It's still incredible.
But he has like power tools and stuff at his disposal.
Yeah, it's still
not.
It's still incredible though, because like if you think about it, this is the way I choose to think about it. The stuff that Orson Welles did in Citizen Kane, I can't do on my computer on my Final Cut Express.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like I've gotten pretty decent at editing because I edit stuff all the time, not to that level or whatever, but there are things that Orson Welles did completely analog that even with the technology that I have, if I pulled it off, I would consider it impressive. And I would like brag to you, like, look what I did. Like, look how I made this shot come through the window. And I think you would be impressed with it, even though I use this current technology. So like, I kind of don't give a shit. Like, because I promise you, if you give me 10 years to study and all those tools, I ain't making that fucking pillow. I can tell you that right now.
No, he definitely, dude hits. He does hit. All right.
Dude does hit. I got some airmail.
I was going to ask. Okay. I didn't know if you were up to the task.
Yeah, I am. I actually checked some while you were doing another thing. Let's see. Oh, by the way, this one, I just need us to get it out there. This is not a fun one, but I need us to get it out there.
Okay.
Subject line, and you know what this is. Subject line, WTH, question mark, exclamation point. I've enjoyed your show since inception. I just listened to the most recent episode. Why is there an upfront ad paid for by the petroleum industry? Is it inserted by an umbrella network you work for? It seems antithetical to what you promote and stand by. I will say now what I responded to this person. If you're watching on YouTube, that has nothing to do with us. YouTube puts those ads there and they don't care what the show is. It's an automatic thing, usually localized by where you live, such as people watching in Florida may see a DeSantis ad sometimes. I didn't get a response from this person. I'm not mad at this person, but I just want to say this to everybody. Like, you've got to know that when it's a YouTube ad, it's just random, and that's not us. And
even if it wasn't a YouTube ad, if it's an ad that sounds like a radio ad that me or Corey are not doing, do we have any of those on this show, Joe?
Maybe.
We've had them in the past.
Maybe. I don't know.
We have a podcast network that sells our ad space for us. They may also sell those ads. I can't remember what those are called, but they're different.
Dynamic
ads, whatever.
Yeah.
Anyway, that works the same way, meaning we don't pick those. It's just like a certain amount of money goes to our show through the podcast network for them to insert dynamic ads, and it could be anything. It could be like a truck commercial.
And I don't even
think you hear on the radio, but like we don't get to choose those.
Yeah,
so
and I don't even think they
ads.
choose them, for the record. I think it's all sort of like algorithmic thing or whatever. So basically the point is, if you hear an ad and it's not me and Trae saying it, we didn't put it there.
Right.
We got nothing to do with it. it sucks, but there's nothing we can do about it. And I would like to think that most of you are smart enough to understand that. So, no, anyways. All right. Subject line: Booth ain't Bin Laden. Hey, y'all. Just started listening to the Wrestling / Lloyds of London episode and heard Corey mention John Wilkes Booth being buried at sea a la Bin Laden. This is not the case. He is actually buried in Baltimore. You can find his traitorous ass in the same graveyard as Johns Hopkins. You've heard of him. And Elijah Bond, some bitch that patented the Ouija board. You'll know Booth's grave when you see it. It's the one with all the pennies on top of it. Hope y'all are well. Fuck squirrels. You can say my name like I give a fuck. Kyle in Baltimore.
He sounds like a Baltimorean.
Hell yeah, he does.
So,
Well,
yeah.
you think they put? Why do you think they put pennies on that? Because of Lincoln.
Pennies have Lincoln on them, so it's like a in your face type deal.
As I was saying that, I got it, but in my
you can also do it with $5 bills, but those blow away. Plus, those hit harder to keep.
Right?
Nobody gives a shit about a penny, so you just drop a bunch of pennies on them.
As I was saying it, I was like, "Oh, Abraham Lincoln's on the penny," but at first, my brain went to in like old Italian shit, like you put coins on people's eyes so that they can pass over. And I was, and I thought it was a bunch of copperheads like paying tribute to him or whatever, but. No. Yeah, it's Lincoln. That checks out. Subject line: Corey's big, beautiful, uninsurable head.
Mm-hmm.
Howdy, y'all. As a reformed conservative who grew up in a super conservative small town in the panhandle of Oklahoma, I love how everybody has to put their bona fides out there. I love all that you are doing. A lot of the stories you tell could have happened to me in my hometown. I drive for Amazon, so I have ample time to keep up with the pods and genuinely appreciate you keeping me entertained. Anyway, I read / listened to Sidney Poitier's autobiography recently, and he told a story about a movie star being uninsurable that I thought you'd appreciate. When they were making Guess Who's Coming to Dinner in 1967, prior to the end of the anti-miscegenation laws. For those of you that don't know, anti-miscegenation laws, misogyny is when a black person marries a white person, regardless of which one it is, where he played a black doctor engaged to a white woman who is meeting her parents for the first time. Spencer Tracy, who played the father, couldn't get insurance. Tracy had never been uninsurable, even with ongoing health problems and heavy drinking previously, but when it came to this movie, telling this story that the studio wanted to kill, suddenly it was a problem. Imagine that. To get the movie made, Tracy took no salary until filming wrapped. He believed in telling this progressive civil rights story that strongly. Additionally, the director, Stanley Kramer, and co-star Katharine Hepburn put their salaries in escrow to ensure they could reshoot should Tracy be unable to finish the film. It turned out to be Tracy's last film. Anti-miscegenation laws were struck down by the Supreme Court later that year. The film was nominated for 10 Oscars, and it won 2, including Best Actress for Katharine Hepburn. Thought you'd appreciate that story as much as I did. Portier's book is definitely worth a read. Keep up the great work. You can use my name. This is Ira Davis. I don't know what that has to do with my head. I was waiting for that.
I think you got jobbed into reading.
I did. Which super. Hey,
like if I bring up his big beautiful head, there's no way he won't read this. And
that really hits for me. One more. Subject line: Lloyds of London and my left arm. Hey, y'all. So funny story, true story. I'm a union pipe fitter / welder out of local 72 Atlanta, #Union Strong. As a badass welder who makes high pressure welds in power plants and other heavy industrial industries, I take a ton of pride in what I do. So at 22, I contacted Lloyds of London about insurance on my arms just in case something were to happen that would cause me to hit less at making x-ray welds. In hindsight, I should have insured my eyes, but I digress. The policy was outrageous, and for it to pay, I would have to lose all basic functions of both arms. If my arms could heal, say a broken arm, for example, it wouldn't have paid a dime. But if, say, a chainsaw removed my arm at the shoulder, I would have gotten the payout, which was substantial. As was the price of the policy since I worked in a high-risk industry. So I didn't end up getting it. I still hit as a welder at 32, and y'all can use my name if you like. Thanks, Ethan Jones. And I'm adding the badass fucking welder. Well, there you go. That was airmail. You can send us airmail at puttinonaires@gmail.com. Trae, tell everybody where you're going to be this weekend and further weekends.
Comes out Friday, which means thanks to y'all that were in Buffalo last night. If you're anywhere remotely near Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, come and see me tonight, Friday, May 24th, at the Carnegie Library Music Hall. It's
nice.
Fancy as hell.
You're at Carnegie Hall?
Now, at Carnegie Mellon's Library's Music Hall.
You're at Carnegie Hall.
It is fancy as hell, though.
You're at Carnegie Hall.
And their whole thing is like the whole thing with the venue was it's very Pittsburgh in Carnegie Mellon. It's like it was meant to be a very fancy upscale fine arts place for working class people could go to. That was that was the whole idea behind it. At least that's what their website says.
That's badass.
It is on brand for me, but I need y'all to come. So come see me, Pittsburgh, TraeCrowder.com. After that, Drew will be with me briefly in Virginia and then Florida with Sweet Donnie Singstack and a bunch of other places after that. So TraeCrowder.com. Check it out. Love you.
Hey, go to bonuscorey.com. That is sort of like my Patreon situation. You could subscribe for free or you can give me $5 a month, and I really would appreciate it. Just put out a nice essay on cicadas, a humorous essay. It's also available in audio form and is about to be available in video form for those paid subscribers. I also do usually at least 2 park rants a week, which is basically a longer version of the videos that I put on Instagram. I do those over at bonuscorey.com. We also play a game called 3 Clicks and a Hick, where it's 3 clicks to Hitler, if you know what that is on the internet. And it's a lot of fun. We do a lot of crazy shit over there. There's also a chat where I'm very active, bonuscorey.com. So please do that. Get our book Around Here and Over Yonder. Listen to all the podcasts in the Skew-universe. That is Well Read, Gravy Baby, and Weekly Skews with Trae Crowder and Smart Mark AG. And stay fancy, motherfuckers. My back hurts so bad, I'm going to leave now.
Go lay down.
All right. Skew. Here's Lydia Lovelace.
1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Royalty and rednecks are alike. They both like cutting and picking fights. Biscuits and baked beans where they don't belong. Sit on down with Corey and Trae and learn some fancy shit today. We'll laugh a little even when they're wrong. They'll take you to a magical place where if you call someone a cut, nobody cares. They keep it debonair at putting on airs, putting on airs, putting on airs.